Welcome to the Know-It-All, where we wrap up a whole week of news and games and more. I'm Ashley Jenkins, and it's been kind of an outragey week, so strap in. Let's get angry about everything. The biggest news of the week, well, one of the biggest news of the week is the first details we have of Star Wars Battlefront, the upcoming kind of reboot of the popular Star Wars series coming from Battlefield veteran developers DICE. Bruce and Blaine actually got a chance to see the game in action with the Star Wars Celebration. You get to play on Endor. There's an AT-AT in a mode that resembles Battlefield's Rush, but you don't get to drive it. There are vehicles that you do get to drive though, and there's our playable hero units again, which you'll need because holy shit, Darth Vader. The game will take place primarily during the original movie trilogy, but will tie in with the upcoming movie as well. There are some other details too in the full update, but for the spoiler sensitive, we'll just leave them there. One detail that's no spoiler at all is the release date, which is set for November 17th, and there'll also be some free DLC available in December. We love free DLC. Unfortunately for DICE and EA though, that's just not enough, and a lot of gamers aren't particularly happy with the details they've got. Where there aren't details, there's trailer analysis galore, which has led to the circulation of several indignant infographics with a whole bunch of red X's that basically say the new Battlefront game is the worst thing ever, except that's also been revised once or twice. It turns out it really just might be the worst thing ever, or might actually be fun, and everyone needs to hold on to their horses and wait for more information before taking that pitchfork anywhere. We got some time, guys. There's more rage though. Look, there's plenty to go around. We love the rage. It's the internet. Valve has announced that Steam is beginning to support paid mods on PC, starting with Skyrim, and the PC crowd has gone absolutely apoplectic over the very idea. We've got change.org petitions. There is a mod that'll let you kill Cape Newell to protest, apparently. Bogus paid mods that'll give you an apple for $30. It's a whole mess over what, in the end, is probably kind of an attempt by Valve and Bethesda to do something nice for the mod community by enabling them to make money, of which, of course, Valve and Bethesda keep 75%. More punishment for gamers comes via Killing Floor 2, which is drawing a line in the sand when it comes to player behavior. The developers say they're instituting a permanent bans for the worst trolls, not just from servers, but they're revoking keys for the game entirely. You're a dick, you're not welcome in the game. Basically, it's in the terms and conditions that no one ever reads. It says, in part, if we find you're a cheater or abusive, we will revoke your CD key and ban you from the KF2 servers and tell your mom. Oh god, not my mom. Then I'll have to explain what a CD key is, and probably she'll ask me to fix her computer. That happens a lot. We've also got more word on Mass Effect 4. Not much, mind you, but some, thanks to a leaked consumer survey that includes potential story elements, gameplay systems, and a couple of other details, some of which is actually being supported by seemingly random tweets from people at BioWare, like that the game may sidestep the original trilogy's divisive multiple endings by moving off to the Helios cluster in the Andromeda galaxy. Nothing like sidestepping plot by moving a couple of million light years. That'll do it every time. Several familiar elements do look set to return though, like the Mako, planetary exploration, loyalty missions, Krogans, and more. Plus these strike side missions you can send AI on or participate in yourself via multiplayer. There's a horde type mode. Actually, there's kind of a lot. None of it's confirmed, obviously, so take it with a grain of salt. But hey, maybe if this year their annual announcement of the game will contain some actual announcement. I'm not salty. We'll also be getting some new IP of some kind at E3. That probably shouldn't be a surprise, but with all the HD remakes and whatnot, it is a relief. Xbox boss Phil Spencer took to Twitter to reveal that we can expect a new exclusive IP to make its debut at the big event, and that the company intends to focus more on first party than third party this time around, which actually makes sense since they really need to give gamers a better reason to choose them over PS4. Multi-platform stuff just doesn't seem to be cutting it. Probably that IP is not Tony Hawk. First, because it exists, but that cat is also out of the bag again. Hawk has hinted at a new game in the Tony Hawk Pro Skater series here and there for a while. He even mentioned it in an interview once, but a chef recently posted a photo to Instagram of an event he catered, which contained a big Tony Hawk logo in the background. Sweet move, dude. Hawk took to his own Instagram to confirm during a clothes shopping trip with one of his buddies, or at least it certainly looked that way. So Xbox event or not, you can probably count on hearing more about that in June too. Or, you know what, you can just skip it all and move to China, since apparently that's where the future of gaming is. A new report by data analyst firm Newzoo has ranked games companies by revenue, and neither EA or Activision are at the top of the list. Not even close, actually. It's Tencent Holdings Limited, a Chinese company, the publishers Crossfire and Alliance of Valiant Hearts. They're local variants of Counter-Strike and Call of Duty, basically. And Tencent also owns stakes in Epic Games and the majority equity interest in League of Legends' own Riot Games. The report also reveals that Sony and Microsoft follow Tencent in the rankings, and Apple and Google are just behind EA and Activision. As a result, especially with Japanese game revenue shrinking, it's likely this will affect the kinds of games we see in the future, since everyone wants to develop for where there's a bunch of money. For a full hour of video game talk, check out The Patch. This week, we discuss Obama's alleged support for GTA London, Battlefront's missing features, the new mod scene for GTA 5, and a whole bunch more. We had an hour. Plus, of course, we've got Game Club. This week, we all played through Brothers, we shed some tears, and at some point, we'd really like to play like a dumb, happy game, but that's not next week, because next week, we're playing Child of Light. So play that, and then join us for the discussion. And if you're into esports, this week, the leaderboard tackles the League of Legends Championship Series and an update to Super Smash Bros. Alright, on to movies and TV, because hey, guess what? One of the X-Men likes dudes, apparently, which is cool and everything, but it has some fans up in arms because it seems like a decision made to shock rather than because it comes naturally. In the latest issue of All New X-Men, Jean Grey basically outs Iceman by telling him he is fully gay. Their words, even though future Bobby Drake is straight. Is that... That seems weird, but there you go. A lot of people are upset because it seems like they're making it a choice, because it doesn't seem like it fits in the canon. You name it, they're upset about it. On the brighter and less eyebrow-raising side of Marvel, though, Big Boss Kevin Feige has revealed a Star Wars Easter egg they've been slipping into their Marvel movies, or, well, a nod at the very least, in the form of hands getting cut off a la Luke Skywalker. I suddenly need to rewatch a bunch of these movies to do some spotting because I didn't notice any of that. I wonder who's gonna lose their hand in Age of Ultron. Finally, there's a new trailer out for Jurassic World that I hope you've seen, because at this point, Chris Pratt can do no wrong. I mean, the dude rolls with velociraptors. The trailer reveals more details about the newly engineered Indominus Rex, and not just the subject of a Daft Punk song, you know that, what is it? Harder, better, faster, stronger. It's also smarter. Fifth ingredient. Like, it removes its own tracking implant level of smarter, which is terrifying. However, the trailer is also coming under some scrutiny, with Avengers writer and director Joss Whedon criticizing the use of the classic trope, she's a stiff, he's a life force sort of thing, although he later apologized. Look, we know you like strong leading ladies, Joss, and that's why Black Widow's getting her own movie instead of playing second field in everyone else's, right? Right? Yeah. And one last note for tech and science, Google is launching its own mobile phone network. Sort of, anyway. Actually, it's piggybacking on Sprint and T-Mobile, as well as putting together a whole network of open Wi-Fi, but will offer unlimited talk and text for $20 and data for $10 per gigabyte. It'll work in 120 countries around the world. There are a lot of interesting implications here, like whether this will do for the mobile market what Google Fiber did for the broadband, which is namely lighting a fire under the competition to start offering better deals. And the early access program only currently works with one phone, the Nexus 6, but it is an interesting step in Google's game of tech risk. That's the news for this week. For full updates with all the details, check the links to our stories in the description, or join us on the know throughout the week so you get the news when it's minty fresh. All right, go have a great weekend and forget everything.